Welcome back to Fishbowl Sports, everybody. Right here on Fishbowl Sports here. The 2026 Louisiana Ragin' Cajun season preview. Here, we got everybody kind of talking about the Ragin' Cajun this season here. So we got national analysts like Phil still coming in. Some local podcasters coming in there like Locked on Sunbelt Syndicate. Everybody kind of gives their breakdown of how they think the 2026 season is going to go for the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. And we did not want to be left out of that, so we have this nice little display here. We're going to have an overview of how we think all the whole team's going to look here. Offense, defense, special teams, and we're going to go through the whole entire schedule and pick game by game how we think they will end up in this 2026 season. But before we get down into that, let me introduce everybody to everybody's favorite Uncle Bear. And our good buddy Jalen, who's joining us over audio right now. So how's it going, Bear? And then I'll get to you, Jalen.
Well, you forgot about the for a few hours number 22 ranked Raging Cajuns for just a
Yeah,
few hours
just a
before it
few.
was corrected.
The four receiving votes. What a goof by the AP. I was gonna talk about that after the intro, but we'll get more into that a little bit later. But like, Jalen, what you think, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Chief Bear? And yeah, I agree with you, Bear. I think Chief, you left that out, but hey, I'm ready to get into that because that's such a huge mistake that was made.
All right,
It
so
was it was a mistake for a good mistake for us.
Well, a good mistake for us, yes, but a bad mistake if you're the people who puts that out there.
yeah, so
Yeah, I
the
agree.
publicity that the Cajuns got off of this is a very good thing for the school. First of all, let's talk about that. That's a very good, like nationally, like, and it's like kind of out of left field. I was like, wait, we received votes. Like, I was shocked actually when I first saw it because I'm like, this team shouldn't be like nowhere near like top 30 because of how like last season ended. And like I'm not knocking the team. It's just that the only team I thought that would have been in that top 30 would have been James Madison. College football playoff with 10D last year.
Well,
That you would think that's
see,
like national people are paying attention that much to it, but I'm like, okay, like we had like under 2020 and 2021, Cajuns had that national rankings that they had top 25 polls for those two seasons, and then all of a sudden, kind of out of left field in 2026, following a 6-7 record season record of 2025, you get four receiving votes. But I mean, it's very interesting because like what we've been seeing here, I was like, well, my first thought was maybe it's the schedule. Cajuns have a very easy schedule this year. The strength of schedule was like way there at the bottom. We're gonna get more into that as we go talk about that more when we get into our schedule prediction areas and stuff. But um,
so
let's Bear. What was your initial reaction when you saw that the Cajuns
no,
had four receiving votes?
I was gonna say for about those 6 hours, that's when you get on the phone and you start trying to get those commits like right away. Like you try to get them locked in before everything comes back around. No, I mean it was an initial shock to see that because we were just kind of like their strength of schedule I didn't think was that big of a factor this year, and just it was kind of surprising, but it was kind of fun at the same time. It's kind of some welcome recognition for the school that they weren't expecting.
Jalen, what was your initial reaction? You had like they had those four votes in the receiving vote. I was shocked. I mean, I was just talked about it. What was your initial reaction, Jalen?
Listen, I was shocked for one, but then I said to myself, I said, man, they're going to do better than I really thought they were if these guys got them with those four votes out of all the teams in the country. So I'm like, they must be doing something right. And then I see the next report saying it was a mistake, and I'm like, well, hey, it was a mistake by them, but like Bear said, I mean, you it was a great look for the school and the team. So I would use that as motivation if I'm those guys.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
to kind of give some highlight before we get too deep into this, like giving like an overview here. So Phil still has Louisiana winning the Sun Belt West this year and 14 players on preseason All Sun Belt list.
Woo,
That's the
woo,
most in the
woo, woo. That's
conference.
very odd for him.
Yeah.
He for some reason he
And
does not
so
like UL, so he must be really high on him.
yeah, the it's a good feeling to have. I mean, Phil still was really high on the Cajuns last year, but I'm gonna get more into that. I think people are looking too much at the 6-7 record. We're gonna dig a little bit deeper into like last year and why that came out to be, and you're gonna understand my reasoning behind it later on in the show. So, Sunbelt Media Days, Cajuns were picked to finish second in the West. They had one first place vote, which they ended up with 75 points. Troy's projected by Sunbelt coaches and Sunbelt Media to win the West. Dave Schultz, Locked on Sunbelt podcast, projected the Cajuns to finish 10-2 on the season. Dave Schultz, if you don't know who he is, he covered the Cajuns, I think, in the mid 2010s for a good, like, couple of 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah,
He was
for
there for that Billy Napier
1037.
era and stuff. So yeah, so very good sign to see. He does have a very good podcast. I do watch it a good bit, and I
Yeah, but
agree with
his
his.
voice, his voice is just so annoying though. It's like watching Fran Drescher on The Nanny. Just like it's like nails on a chalkboard listening to him talk. His
But he's
podcast
got
is
really good
great. His
information though.
information is
I
great.
I like Dave.
Yeah,
Dave's
his
got some really good.
information is top notch, but you can only listen to him for so long without just wanting to like claw your eyeballs out.
So it's going to be very interesting to see. So here, this is who made the preseason All Sun Bet on Field Steel's list. You got Shelton Sampson Jr., Brent Gordon Jr., Lunch Winfield, Cooper Forham, George Action, Fitzgerald West Jr., Moriam Elim, the safety, Jacorian Norris, Jaden Johnson, Jake St. Andre, Caden Jensen, Daryl Smith, Zay Alexander, and Caden Morrow. So I'll look at all this and I'm like, we got three offensive line that are in this all Sunbelt. They got second, third, and 14th. So that's basically what's going on with this here. So let's see here. So what's up with this like watch list business that we got going on here? So like preseason honors
Uh,
beyond the all Sunbelts, the KW been racking up national preseason honors as well. I'm trying to see what is doing this
yeah,
stuff.
a lot of those guys were injured most of the year last year, so to see them back on
Yeah,
the list again is actually
yeah,
very good.
we're gonna get into that. 2026 preseason. We're jumping the gun, Bear. Let me go through my award
Yes,
list.
oh,
We're jumping
my
the
bad,
gun. This the
my
award
bad.
watch. So here's the Cajuns on the award watch list: Brent Gordon Jr., Jim Thrope Award, Kane Jensen, All State Warfare Trophy, Kane Jensen again, AFCA Good Works Team, Brent Gordon Jr., Sunbelt Season preseason first team, Sunbelt Shelton Sampson, Sunbelt preseason first team, Kate Morrow, Sunbelt preseason second team, Fitzgerald West Jr., Sunbelt preseason second team, Lunch Winfield, Sunbelt Media Poll Offensive Player of the Year.
Some of these
So that
awards sound like bowl game names.
yeah, so now before we start getting into like the overview, so we gotta let everybody know about the injuries that have been coming into fall camp and going on there. So they've had a couple of people that have gotten injured in fall camp. Shelton Sampson's really the biggest name of this group with that injury happening with him with a hyper extended knee plus his
Ooh, that's
shoulder.
not good.
He's gonna be out for probably a good while. He might be back for the first game because that happened about a week or two ago. So that really puts him on track to maybe play in that first game. I know hyperextension knees. I wish I had a doctor on the show right here because that would be a really good topic to have go on here because usually a hyperextended knee you're like out for 4 to 6 weeks. So and he's like your star wide receiver. So
It depends on which way he hyperextended it too, because I mean, it only bends so far up, like straight and then side to side. It all depends on how he hyperextended it. He obviously didn't tear anything if he just hyperextended it, so that's a good sign.
yeah. And then you got Landon Strother, who's out. He underwent surgery last Friday, broken collarbone, and he's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks for the Cajun. That's another Cajun wide receiver there. Clipperts, he's out. I mean that he had a very bad injury. I'm trying to give y'all the actual like. Okay, I'm trying to see. I had My computer's yeah. Um, where's all this at? Okay, wait. I'm getting close to it. My computer's kind of lagging up on me a little bit here. Give me a little second here, guys. Um, they had four injuries in. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, my computer's lagging up on me right now. But it's posted on our Fishbowl Sports page too as well. Um, if y'all want to join in on that here. I'm trying to remember. Jalen, who was that fourth person that was injured on there? I'm trying to remember the name. Oh, I got it. Trent Cheney was another one. He had a shoulder injury. I didn't see anything about him. Khalif Edwards, he had a partially torn MCL injury. He's expected to be out 6 weeks. That's who I was. I was thinking of Trent Cheney, but I was trying to like what the. I knew Khalif was gonna be out for a while. So, but 6 weeks. I mean, that kind of puts you more towards like you potentially gonna be back probably by game 3 or so if everything
Goes
go
right.
if everything
Yeah,
yeah goes right, you rehab back. So that is something to see as we go through this season here. So I think one question that we can ask: do you think Samson's gonna be ready for game 1 against Lamar? If I'm being like honest with y'all, I would let him sit out Lamar. I don't think you need to like put him out on the field against Lamar. I think the Cajuns can take care of business against Lamar, get some younger guys some experience in that game, and you should be able to walk away with a win there because that's your star receiver. You don't want to like waste them on an FCS opponent. What you think, Bear?
yeah. I mean, if you shouldn't need him against Lamar. Let those younger guys play, get some experience, get them another week to heal up. It's a long season, so
What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, it's definitely a long season, and this team wants to achieve goals. First of all, being better than last year and getting farther than they did last year, being a better team. They want to exceed these expectations. I think the week 1 game against Lamar is a game that's like y'all said, give the young guys some reps in there. They don't I know they don't necessarily need Sheldon Sampson in that game. Let them rest up and get them ready for the next game.
So Shelton Sampson, is a field still first team All Sun Belt pick. He was the top receiver for the Cajuns last season with 537 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he missed the first 2 days of fall camp with that. So Coach Dez talked about it, and he was quoted as saying, "I had no idea that everyone was going to freak out that Shelton wasn't at practice." He explained doctors evaluated injury and pointed to Kadarius Wade and Roger Dennis as receivers who have been working toward this moment. We got guys that have worked their tails off for years on end to be ready to go. So Dez is expecting guys to be ready to go here. Khalif Edwards, this is about linebacker depth here, and he's a returning starter. And so he's also dealing with that injury, that MCL injury here. So redshirt sophomore Connor McPherson looks like he's been stepping in during his absence there. The linebacker core has already been, under the microscope after the departure of Jaden Duggar to the NFL. Losing Edwards puts more pressure on the rest of that group to, step up their game here. But, McPherson's been in this system, in the program, so this could be a good opportunity for him to really like see more playing time if he excels in that starting role for the first couple of games of the season here. What you think, Bear?
yeah, you gotta, especially with McPherson, you gotta take advantage of that playing time too to show the coaches that you've earned that chance.
What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I think that position is one of the ones going into uh this season where it's kind of might have a few question marks depending on the guys you have out there. And I think I agree with you guys too. I think guys you got to step it up, and I think they'll be able to get their moment, especially in week 1.
So, with that being said, here we're going to talk about the offense here. We are going to talk about the offense here. So I think this is a very and that was a good like overview what we kind of like seen what everybody's been kind of saying and stuff, and we'll just see what goes on with that there. So and now Dwayne Lunch Winfield out of uh, the starting quarterback for the Cajuns. So he was a high school sensation. You know, had 4,657 total yards and 70 touchdowns in his career. They're helping Lutcher win a state championship. He in the Marshall game last year. Yeah, that was his coming out party. 254 total yards, 5 touchdowns, double overtime win, Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Week. That was his team from that moment forward. And here's what that's about to say about Lunch at the beginning of camp, at the start of the fall camp. I've been pleased with him through the summer so far. And Winfield has held numerous throwing sessions with the receiver room throughout the offseason. The offensive coordinator, he's like, we got the state's best player at quarterback. So that's the kind of level of belief they have in him in 2026. So Lunch's record as a starter is 4-4. His completion percentage, I'm not a big fan of. It's 58.8%. Passing yards, 1,555 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Rushing yards, 667 yards, 9 touchdowns. Now, we're going to talk about the quarterback position here a little bit. And I want this to be known here that for the Cajuns here with Lunch, and I hope this year's different. The Cajuns have been snake bit when it comes to quarterback health over the years. Ever since 2022, they've had quarterbacks hurt every single year. Their starting quarterback has gone down to injury. And that is a big callous, like why they haven't been able to get past these 6 and 7 seasons. When you lose your field general like that, it's really hard to, overcome that and make it better for yourself. So that is something they're going to have to look at here and see what's going on there. And so,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
the last quarterback that was healthy through a whole season was Levi Lewis, 2021 season. Played that whole season. So,
yeah, but that comes down to your offensive line though. Your offensive line's got to do a better job of blocking and keeping from getting hit.
and well,
Your running backs have to pick up keep those chip blocks. Your running backs have to pick up the blitz.
and also with that though too, Lunch doesn't really help that too much either because he likes to run the ball. He's a dual threat quarterback, and he makes plays, but you don't want to change his play style because that's going to mess him up. Because that's the way he plays football. Like I mean
Well,
that.
I I get that, but on the plays when he's scrambling around for his life back there is the plays that I'm talking about. They need to do a better job of protecting him.
Well, he does need to learn how to slide though too. I think that's a big thing with Lunch though too. He
Yeah,
will
that
he
is part of the issue.
yeah he does like to look for contact, and I like to see it. I like the aggressiveness, but man, like it's a long season.
Is Walker Howard still there, or
Walker
did he
Howard
leave
transferred
again?
out. He went back to Ole Miss.
Of course. So Daddy Kiffin leaves and he goes back to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
You can't.
obviously he's not very good because he's lost. Trinidad Chambers has his job.
So the key benchmark I
If
think for Lunch this year, get that completion percentage above 60% and 20 passing touchdowns. Interceptions need to be below double digits. Hit those numbers, and I think this Cajun offense is going to be really looking for like a legitimate Sun Belt title contender.
yeah, the game he seemed to get ahead of him at times, and he had a tendency to let it speed up. He needs to just slow it down and make his right reads, make the right decisions on the field.
So at receiver,
No, that's so true.
so what y'all think about Lunch, Bear? Kind of like go through with Bear and see. I mean, like what you think about Lunch? Like, what does Lunch need to do?
Well, I mean, I basically just kind of the last two deals are kind of out there. Like I understand he's a dual threat quarterback and you want him to run the ball, but at the same time, your offensive lineman and your running backs need to protect him better, pick up those blitzes, He needs to learn how to slide, obviously, and he needs at times last year when he was basically pressing and trying to make things happen, and that's why the interceptions number was so high. He needs to slow it down and just make the right reads and just take it one step at a time instead of letting it. He had a tendency to let the game get ahead of him, and he would try to rush and try to force something to happen.
What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I 100% agree. He needs to learn how to slide. The bottom line is Lunch is a dual threat. He's going to run the ball. There's no doubt about it. So that's not a problem him running. He's either learn how to slide so he don't keep taking big hits.
Yeah,
And next thing you know, we have another quarterback that's out for games again. So, and I think just with Lunch, I think this season he needs to just connect more with his receiving core because I think, like Bear said, he tried to make a lot of things happen. I think having this off season going into the season and week one will tell a lot the chemistry he has with those receivers. And I think if he puts his trust into them, it'll take less pressure off of him. But then again, you have to see what guys will be out there at receiver. So it's just because it kind of goes both ways, especially with the injuries we just talked about with Sheldon Sampson and Landon Schroeder. So so it's a lot to be seen in that beginning week against Lamar.
So let's look at the weapons around him at wide receiver since we've been talking about so much. Shelton Sampson, we've been talking about him. He's going to be their X factor on offense here. He's their biggest playmaker on offense so far this year, besides Lunch. He's going to be the target they're going to be looking for, and they're going to probably double him on defense. So that's going to give chances for these other guys to step up and make plays here. Jaden Johnson, he earned a third team field steal preseason nod. That's UL's second recognized receiver that they have here. He's going to be stepping into a larger role if Sampson misses time early. You got Kadarius Wade and Dennis as well. They were also names. You got Russell Babineau right there, local Acadiana product. Acadiana.
Katie and High.
Yep, he's
yep,
gonna be in the rotation. So it guys like that we're gonna see steps up. That's the thing. And you got Caden Jensen as well. He's got had 29 catches for 231 yards. He was second on the team in receptions. He had 4 catches against Arkansas State, ULM, and Delaware. He has set career highs for 72 yards, and he had a 40-yard reception. He's been on the wards here, so he's a reliable check down option for Lunch. So I'm expecting to see that continue here. And we also had some like transfer in. So running back Omarion Brown, the transfer from Arkansas State, plus Daryl Smith as well, and Stephen Blanco and JJ Gardner. They ran out of the room. Blanco was the one that was kind of like had the most technically experience here. Bill Davis and Zylan Perry both transferred out. Bill Davis went to Virginia Tech. Um, and Zylan Perry also transferred out there. I'm trying to remember where Zylan Perry went, if I can remember right.
Where did he go? Cincinnati.
don't tell me.
Cincinnati. Okay, yep.
I was gonna say
Th-
he probably went
Thank you,
Nick Chubb,
Jalen.
but
And then offensive line, you got 4 field steal selections. Cooper Forham, George Jackson, Caden Morrow, and Zay Alexander. They're not all second team, but Jackson and Fordham was the two second team, and Caden Morrow and Zay Alexander were 14 as well. 6 linemen was starting experience return, and I do believe so. This is why my expectation is going to surprise y'all when we go to the end here. There was a lot of injuries on this team last year, and they still finished 6 and 7. A
yep,
lot of injuries up and down the board. So I think the injury plagued season of 2025 might be a blessing in disguise. I'm just saying that for 2026 because I think that might be something. What you think, Bear?
yeah. I was. That's one of the things I was gonna bring up was there was a ton of injuries on this team last year, and they were really far down in the depth chart by the end of the season. So if most of these guys can stay healthy, or the ones that are already injured come back and still have a meaningful impact on the season, this team could very well, hit that 8 to 9 win mark.
What you think? Oh, yeah. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, the thing is, like you said, last year, a lot of injuries, and they still were able to pull it together. Kudos to Coach Dez. I mean, that wasn't an easy job, man. The head coach trying to get all these different lineups in there, especially on offense, defense too. I mean, it was a lot. So going into this year, it's like not only you have lunch at your quarterback, but it's like, hey, your offensive line is bulking up, less injuries there, who would be able to protect the quarterback, like Bear was saying. And now I think now you need to see what this team is about because now that most of your team is healthy, except for maybe a few receivers, but going into really this season, the number one guy we knew for sure was Sheldon Sampson, and we know he can't be the only guy you throw the ball to. So you get to see offensively and defensively what this team is made of when fully healthy.
And Sampson was banged up last year too, a good bit. Like he had hand injury, and then no one really was playing through the injury. I was like, okay, like them guys want to got there on the field. So I mean, you got to do what you got to do there. So let's talk. We're talking defense for the Cajuns here. Fitzgerald West Jr., Lafayette native, LCA product, signed with LSU as a three-star recruit in 2022. He came on to UL in 2024. He had 22 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, and one sack in 13 games last year. In 20 or senior year, he's at 6'2", 300 pounds. Earned both field steal, second team, and official Sun Belt preseason second team. This could be his season to dominate the interior of the offensive line. I mean the defensive line for the Cajuns. Then you got Brent Gordon Jr. Field Steel first team and Sunbelt first team. Jim Thrope watch list. Bridge native. Cecilia High standout. 62 tackles, 1 interception, 12 pass breakups. The quarterback career fumble recovery as a true freshman in 2025. He made 11 starts. His first career interception stopped ULM in overtime in the regular season finale. Named the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award preseason watch list, one of 35 players nationally for the top defensive back award in college football. He's earning national attention as so. So linebacker replacing Jayden Duggar. He's out for this season because he's a 49er. And he's been making some plays in that preseason. I've been seeing them. I've been seeing him playing. Duggar's getting it done out there, man. He's the biggest boy in the defense. Jake St. Andre, third team Phil Steele, and Khalif Edwards. He was injured in camp, and they're the experienced returners on this team. Ashley Williams, Arizona State transfer. Latoria Brown, Connor McPherson. He's going to be filling in for Edwards. And Ethan Bill will round out the room. The depth is there, but Duggar's size will not be able to be replaced overnight. So we're going to see how the linebacker core is going to be able to do here. That's kind of my question mark, but I think there's enough pieces there for the depth to come through and be able to do a very good job there. Defensive challenge, rebuilding the front six. ESPN Sunbelt preview, they were looking at losing both their primary pass rushers here. Defensive coordinator Jim Salgado enters third year with the biggest rebuilding project of his tenure. So Tito Chikir and freshman Ty Dolan are new additions. Chase Edwards gives some edge and some length, and West anchors the interior. The secondary seven returning. The secondary Gordon on the Jim Thorpe, Washington, Elaine on the field still, and Maury Elaine on lead the safeties. The secondary is the strongest part of this defense when we're talking about 2026 here. So let's see here. You got a good. I'm jumping myself here. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, they got the whole. Yeah, let's see. Got a lot.
Yeah, the one thing that concerns me so far is that Fitzgerald, I think he's a little bit undersized on the defensive line. Like you typically want to see your linemen, over 300 pounds. You want to see him at about 315, 320, especially for your interior linemen. But I mean, he may do with what he's working with last year, so hopefully that continues.
So the Cajuns did lose Jordan Lawson last year. That was a big, he was their key 2025 pass rusher. So we'll see how that goes here. What you think, Jalen? What you like? Are you worried about the linebacking core or the defensive front, that front seven, or are you not as worried about it?
When it comes to defensive line, I think having Fitzgerald West come back after he put his name in the transfer portal, I think that was huge. I think he's going to be the leader of the defensive line. So I'm not too worried about those guys in front. I think the linebacker core a little bit kind of questions me. I think, like you say, Khalid Edwards getting injured. I think that was a huge blow because he's not. I don't think he's going to be ready. Well, obviously not going to be ready for the start of the season. So you're going to have some other guys fill in, and it's hard to replace a guy like Jaden Duggar who has so much productivity as a Cajun. So I kind of have my eyes kind of wide open for that linebacker position, but they said they did have some good guys to transfer in that's fitting into the program. So I think, yeah, I think Desmond's going to know what to do to get those guys ready.
So what y'all think about the secondary so far?
I mean, to have a sophomore who's nationally recognized on a Thorpe Award list, that's pretty significant. That's not. I mean, that speaks volumes.
I mean, I saw where Dez is trying to. I read something that he's trying to get him to play outside corner and inside. So,
Yeah.
I mean, to say that he was just a freshman last year, didn't start at the beginning of the year, but Dez put him in. The coach staff believed in him. Brent Gordon made terrific plays out there, and going to his sophomore year, like Bear said, getting recognized like this. He's one of your top guys on in the secondary right there, if not the top guy. So if you got him on one side and find somebody on the other as corners, I mean, this defense could
I'm
really be special.
I'm kind of looking at Curly Reed the third, the transfer from Washington, and you also got you got a couple other guys here like Aleem and Colin Jacob that they could be big parts of this secondary here. But I think the secondary is kind of like Cody Jackson, like these guys. I think the secondary is probably the strength of this defense here when you look at it from top to bottom here. Um, and they're gonna have to, and that's good. So I will say this: there's a relationship here. If the defensive front can get into the backfield with what they got going on there and be able to put pressure on the quarterback, that's going to help the secondary a lot more though too. But the way the secondary is, they're able to cover guys for an extra 1 or 2 seconds. But last year they didn't really get that much pass rush last year too much and get that many sacks there to help out their secondary. They were able to do some pretty good things back there in secondary. So even a modest improvement up front for the Cajuns will pay dividends really big for that secondary though too. So they can be a little bit more aggressive. We might be able to see a couple more takeaways this year for the Cajun defense. What you think, Bear?
Yeah, yeah, especially having a Thorpe Award watch guy on the watch list in the preseason. That basically shuts down one half of the field, and it makes teams scared to throw the ball to that side of the field because there's always that opportunity of a takeaway that could obviously help the Cajuns in a game and cost their opponent a game, which is we want to see. So I mean, and with that, having that out there, that hopefully that gives your defensive front, your linebackers a chance to get in there, be a little more aggressive, and make some plays.
All right. So next up, let me go switch to my thing here. Go pull up my app here real quick so I can go reconnect and go back down to special teams here. Not much really going on with the Cajuns with special teams. I think they're going to be about what they were last year. What you think, Bear?
I mean, yeah, as long as you don't make any fatal mistakes, have punts blocked and miss field goals and whatever else, you just do enough to manage the game and just take advantage of those opportunities, and they should be fine.
What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I think special teams. I mean, you look at just kicking wide, Kenny Almendaris. I mean, if you want to say one of the greatest Cajun kickers in a while they've had, I think special teams will be good. They're gonna find the right guys to put in there. But I think special teams is definitely going to be key because in the past we've seen where special teams have changed plays for the Cajuns for good.
Yeah, I seen they had like Brent Gordon Jr. returning punts at one point. Um, they got a couple of guys out there they've been kind of like doing like special team stuff with. So we'll see what is going to happen with all that there. I think Kenny Almendaris is one of the best kickers they had. I mean, low. let's see. I'm trying to see what their odds are. Look at the methodology here. So we're gonna go to schedule prediction here, but I think it's Cajuns have been pretty good at kickers for a while, so I think they're gonna be all right in that department. I don't think special teams is gonna be really that big of a deal here. I think they're gonna be all right here. So looking at this here, ESPN SP rankings, S Sunbelt Media Poll, like it's all kind of stuff added into this formula thing that we built out here. So this is the odd that I used AI model to do just to see what it would spit out here because I added in the ESPN SP SPI, yeah, SP plus rankings. I put field still standings in there, and I put the media poll in there, and I added all this stuff into like, what is the Cajuns' percentage record of what it's gonna spit out? Okay, so here's the percentage numbers of we're gonna go schedule by schedule. I mean, game by game in the schedule, and we're gonna give the prediction here. So Lamar has got 93% win percentage for the Cajuns. The following week, when they go to California to take on USC, Cajuns have an 18% chance to win that one against USC. So they got them projected to lose that one. So they're 1-1. They go back home against UAB, 72% chance they win that one. That's a win on the thing there too. So that's 3-1. Charlotte is 62% on the road. They go on the road there. It's got them winning that one. So it's 3-1 so far. Home against Arkansas State. It's got them at 74% against Arkansas State. So that's 4-1. They go on the road to Russ in Louisiana. Like the newest Bucky's in Louisiana. I think the first Bucky's in Louisiana. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-1. So they go on the road against Louisiana Tech. They have a 55% chance of winning that one. It's almost a coin flip and it's a rivalry game. So
A toss up.
yeah, so it's 5-1 is what they have the prediction here. Then they go home against Troy. This is the one that I'm kind of like looking at here real closely because I think that Troy game is going to decide the West. To be honest, 61% chance of beating Troy at home. That's what they have. So 6-1.
Oh, wow. Better than I thought.
That's way
61.
better than what most people thought, honestly.
Yeah. At Southern Miss, it's giving it a 70% chance at beating Southern Miss. Now, I did grab, so to help these numbers out and get an accurate interpretation to make sure this thing wasn't flawed in any way, I'm asking, like, well, it might be using last year's rosters or whatever. No, I went to each team's official website and grabbed like information on these teams, like 3 or 4 different articles, and I spit it in there to try to see what it would compile up and be. So you can take these numbers for their worth. It's preseason. They're probably gonna be wrong anyway. I mean, like, have y'all seen the AP Top 25 poll last season? How well that did?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so it's got them winning a 70% against Southern Miss. It's got them winning that one too. So it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7-1. South Alabama, they're back
Going
at
to the
home.
bowl game, baby.
68% chance of beating South Alabama at home. Another win there. On the road against ULM on a Thursday. Could be a trap game. Honestly, kind of seems like it's gonna be it's Thursday. It's an earlier game in the week, so it's got them beating ULM 78%. Coastal Carolina at home 73% win, and at Georgia State 63% win. Altogether, the projected record that it has is 11-1 for the AI. The AI predicts 11-1 for the Cajuns. Dave Schultz on Locked on Sunbelt 10-2. That's what he has. Like he went through the schedule and said it's really easy. And you know what?
His losses?
If you look at the rankings of their strength of schedule for the Cajuns, they're ranked 121st out of 138 teams with their schedule. They have one of the top 20 easiest schedules in all of college football this year. 984 is their schedule score. It's lower. The range it could be anywhere, but let's see. Lower equals harder. range is, let's see. I think they got this backwards, but I'm not going to say that. Okay, so hardest Sun Belt Conference game. It's going to be October 10th at
Oh,
Louisiana Tech.
mm,
Hardest non-conference game is going to be USC, obviously. Easiest game is Lamar. USC's easiest opponent in 2026 is the Cajuns per CFN, College Football Network. SOS, strength of schedule implication. Easiest path to 10 wins. It's got an easier path to 10 wins, but it's going to be a tough sell to the College Football Playoff Committee. If they could win 10, 11 games with that schedule, it's going to be tough. But if they beat USC, this whole entire thing changes. They could go undefeated this year. There's a real opportunity for the Cajuns to go undefeated. There's a path there.
yeah, but right now let's just focus on improving off of last year and getting to a bowl game
Yeah,
before we
I,
start
I,
talking about
I
undefeated
want to
in
go to the.
college
I want
football
to win the. I
playoffs
want to
and
win the West. I want to repeat of 2024,
well,
except
yeah,
that Marshall
obviously,
game.
yes. Let's
So,
focus on that. That's more realistic goals in the college football playoff with this schedule.
what you think, Jalen? What you think about all those numbers that I was spitting out at y'all?
That is a lot of numbers. I mean, but hey, I mean, the more numbers we have going in, the more we get to predict and see how the season goes. I mean, I don't have a problem
Yeah,
with you throwing out all them numbers.
I don't either. I love it. I'm a numbers guy though. I love numbers.
Numbers, it don't care about your feelings. It's going to tell you exactly what's going on. And
Yep,
this is a very easy
100%.
schedule. Like, this is a very easy schedule. Like, there's
Kind
no
of like
doubt
the
in my
B,
mind that this is easy. So,
kind of like the BCS schedule back in the day.
yeah.
Interesting.
So, let's go with versus that we're gonna predict game by game now. It's y'all time to shine. Where y'all think the Cajuns will end up at and win and loss. So there's no AI models. It's just what we think's gonna happen out there. Home game against Lamar. I'm gonna start off with you, Bear. I'm gonna pick a last for all these here. So I'll let you kick us off, Bear.
Well,
What you got?
that's no fun.
That's no
I
fun.
mean, it's Lamar. It's Lamar, Southland Conference. I mean, they are one of the better teams in the Southland Conference, but the Cajuns should handle business in this one. I mean, if they don't, then we're off to a bad start.
All right. So Bear's got a win for the Cajuns against Lamar. Jalen, what you think? You're gonna follow Bear up, or you're gonna differ? You're gonna pull a crazy upset.
No, not a crazy upset. I'm gonna go with Bear on this one. I think the Cajuns are gonna take it.
All right, so we're each 1-0 here. So let me make my prediction, and I think the Cajuns will go into Our Lady of Lords Stadium to a very nice season opening crowd, and I think they're going to pick up a win against Lamar. They'll be 1-0 when they go on to to maybe sing some Tupac California Love when they go take on at USC at the law in the Coliseum. Bear, what you think here?
I mean, ideally, yes, we want the Cajuns to win this game, but I mean, on paper, USC is clearly the better team. So maybe they make it a little closer than what the experts are saying, but I don't see them unless barring some huge setback by USC. But I don't think the Cajuns are going to win this one.
What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I mean, you want the Cajuns to upset USC, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Cajuns gonna be 1-1 to start the season.
You know, it's kind of one of those that I'm like, man, it'd be fun just to go crazy and just do cause chaos, right? Like pick the upset
Oh
here
yes.
and just like start this like undefeated season hype train going through here. Like, man, it'd be crazy if I was able to do something like that. And I could very well pull that trigger and be like, you know what, they're gonna do it. But
Oh come on.
my biggest question
Scared money
mark with
don't
this
make money.
scared money don't make money. You're right, Bear. But my biggest question mark with USC this year is their defense. They haven't been very good on defense since Lincoln Riley. He's only does offense. I think their offense is gonna just it might if Lunch can get to that 60%, 65% completion percentage that we've been talking about, I think the sky's the limit for his offense. I think they're gonna do really well if that happens there. Like, because if they get the ball to their Their playmakers, skill position guy, I think they're going to be okay. The problem that's going to come out to be here is I think what helps the Cajuns is their offensive line. They got banged up a lot last year. And all that, like I said, that 2025 season might be a blessing in disguise because you got a lot of guys that got playing time last year. So, but it's a little bit early in the season for me to say. I think if they played this game later in the season, this might actually be actually more of a winnable game actually than the beginning part of the season because I think you got more guys that have playing time and experience here, and maybe USC gets banged up and they don't have all their guys there. But turnover battle will be key for the Cajuns to win this game, but they're not going to get it done. I think they're going to lose to USC on the road. I just can't see it get them getting enough turnovers to do it. That's the thing here. They got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback, and like this is really a prove it game to me. If they can really keep it close with USC, maybe even try to pull it out late in the fourth quarter, I think they definitely make a 11-1, 10-2 undefeated season possible. But I don't see it happening. We're all gonna be 1-1 right now. September 19th at home against UAB. Bear, how you feel that one going?
I mean, UAB is pretty much just one step above the competition that Lamar is. So I mean, they should. Oh, didn't they make a bowl game last year?
I'm trying. I'm
Or
trying to.
am I mistaken? Am I mistaken? Or did they? 'Cause I know the last few years they hadn't been very good, and all of a sudden I think they like got really good last year.
Let's see. But
Anywho,
like,
the
what you
Cajuns
think
should take
happens this year? I'll pull it up for you. What you think this year?
Cajuns should take care of business against UAB. I mean, I think they're the better team on paper.
Okay, so they let's see. Bowl games. They did not go to a bowl game last year. That's 2022.
Okay, so yeah. Anyway, okay, I was mistaken. My fault. I apologize. So
It's
UL should
okay.
take care of business. I mean, they're UABs. I mean, they're not very good. They haven't been in a while.
So what you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I think Caden should take it against UAB. I would. It would be shocking to me if the Cajuns lose that one.
Shocking, you say, right?
Yeah, that's my opinion.
All right. I had to keep you honest
So
here.
you
So
thinking
UAB
too?
did go 4-8 last year, Bear.
Okay, four in it. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
terrible.
So I mean, the Cajuns, even with all the injuries, still finished 6-7. I think they win this at home. I don't think it's going to take a while for them to build it back up here. They had the coach Trent Dilfer got fired in the middle of the year last year for the first 6 games. Alex Mortensen, he's the interim
Shame.
head coach.
Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. I mean, this is his first full year. They kind of surprise people sometimes. So I got UAB losing to the Cajuns here. So I think Cajuns are going to be 2-1 when they go on the road and take on Charlotte. Bear, what you
The
think about that game
Miners.
here with Charlotte?
Uh, man, that's kind of interesting because Charlotte is one of those teams that like nobody really talks about, but they're just kind of like there every week. Cause, but they should occasionally should take care of business against Charlotte. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the upset, but I don't wanna make anybody mad.
You don't make, but you love making people mad, Bear. What you doing, bro?
I know, but I just it's too early in the year, and it's too early in the year for UL fans. The LSU fans they can handle it. They're already used to me. UL
What you?
fans tend to be a little more sensitive.
Dang, you gonna have some fighting words right there, bro.
Well, based off of some of the flack I've taken in comments about UL, I mean they are pretty sensitive. So
All right, Jalen, what you got here?
That's funny, but I think the Cajuns are gonna take this one.
So Charlotte went 1-11 last year. They did not win a single conference game. I'm feeling very confident. I mean, they got a new head coach, clean slate going on.
Well,
So
I mean,
we'll see what happens here.
1-11. There's nowhere to go but up from
Yeah,
there.
I mean that's the dangerous thing about a team that ain't got nothing to lose and everything to gain. That's the worst team to play against. And I think that the Cajuns are gonna win this game. So I think they'll be 3-1 going home against Arkansas State here. And that's our next game, October 3rd, homecoming game for the Cajuns against Arkansas State. What you think, Bear?
That's homecoming. You got to win that one. You got to win homecoming.
What you think, Jalen?
I agree with Bear said 100%. You have to win homecoming. It's homecoming.
That's the. There's a reason why you scheduled them a homecoming because you know you're gonna win this game.
Well, I mean, it is a conference game. It's your first conference game that you have.
Oh yeah,
So
home conference home opener. You got to win that one. You got to win that one.
so Butch Jones is entering his fifth season at Arkansas State. He's compiled a 26-37 record, 413
Not
losses.
Mr. Fard from Tennessee, Butch Jones.
Yeah, man. So the Cajuns were depleted, and I was like, man, we're gonna probably we probably should have lost to Arkansas State. We were just in a bad. I think that was right after the Texas State game, if I remember right. We had like a lot of our players suspended. We already had a bunch of injuries. I'm like, this is it. This is the end of the bowl appearance streak. Take out the knife and stab us right in the heart in front of us here, and somehow the Cajuns do it. The cardiac Cajuns do it. I mean, that's exactly what happens. So,
Well,
um,
and it's probably a combination of Butch Jones making some boneheaded decisions to lose that game too, like he did at
I mean,
Tennessee.
they went 7-6 last year. So I mean, there's a lot of like reason to think that Arkansas State's on the upward swing here. But usually, and it scares me because like we kind of broke something in the whole makeshift of this rivalry game with Arkansas State series that we got going on. It's usually the home team that wins this rivalry game. That's usually what happens with it here. But and that scares me because it's homecoming. Like it's, like maybe this is the one that I'm kind of scared about. That this might be kind of like, hey, the Cajuns could drop this one here and be a very. Um, I think the Cajuns are gonna lose one they're not supposed to lose, and people are kind of looking at this one, but I don't think they're looking at it. I think the Cajuns do win this one though. I think this is one that I'm like, but I got an eye on it. Definitely have an eye on this one, but I think they get it done at home. At Louisiana Tech, another rivalry game that gets renewed. It's gonna be a yearly one now, and Tech hates us, and the Cajuns hate them. It's all fair game there. So what do you think, Bear?
This is the one that they're gonna lose that they're not supposed to lose.
That's the one.
It's a rivalry renewed. It's
Oh,
their first year in the Sun Belt. They're trying La Tech's trying to make their name known. I think they pull an upset in this one.
so you got them going 4-2 so far. Jalen, what you think?
Man, it's like I I kind of see where Bear's coming at because yes, they do want to make a statement, and one better statement is to beat the Raging Cajuns. But the thing is, I have faith in this team. They're getting it together all season long. They have big expectations, so I'm not going to stare away from them now. So I'm gonna give the Cajuns the win against Louisiana Tech.
Okay, so here's some stats for you here. Um, this is definitely a dark horse one. I know where Bear's coming with this one here. Rivalry game, you just want to beat them. This is the first Sun Belt Conference meeting between these teams since 1995.
Ooh,
Like conference meeting. Road game in Ruston.
Wow.
Tech
See, like I said,
Tech
it's a
returns both quarterbacks, and they rank fourth nationally in fourth quarter points. Now, I think that's very important. They're very good. They're
yes, it
very
is.
good at the end of games, and that's whenever you want to be there. So they finished 8-5 last year, and they return
See,
as many starters as any team in the league. So And you're gonna laugh at this one, Bear. Guess who? Guess who? One of their quarterbacks is named
Oh, don't tell me. I know I can't think of his name, but I know what you're talking about.
Blake Baker.
Oh, yes,
So he
the non
suffered an
Blake
injury
Baker.
last season, and I'm gonna butcher this guy's last name. Kukuk. That's how his
Ukulele.
name. I don't want to even try to say it because I'm scared. But anyway, so this is what you know. Coach Sonny up in Ruston had to say. He said he's on the verge of having a great season. In the backup, he willed us to the KUK. He willed us to a few wins last year. So
Well,
they're
you
fourth
have two
nationally. They
quarterbacks,
are
you don't have none. So
they are fourth nationally in the fourth quarter, and this is the one that could derail a 10-win season and make the Cajuns go 9-3 possibly. Um, but I think there's something about like it's always tough with Tech because you really don't know what you're gonna like. They're playing Conference USA teams. They're not at the same level as Sun Belt Conference teams. Like the conference is competition's a bit lower. So is that 8-5 really something that you can say like, yeah, they're playing level competition with Sun Belt? It's not a big difference, but there is a difference there. Cajuns did lose to Delaware last year, and but they, like I said, they were having plenty of injuries. How much of a jump is the Cajuns going to get here out of lunch? Is how like that's the thing. I think that's really what this game is going to make me make my prediction on. Actually, what lunch is. Can he get to that 65% completion percentage? Because if he does, I think Cajuns win. I think they get 65% completion percentage from lunch. They're going to beat Louisiana Tech. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Could be a whole different ball game there. Uh, I got I got the Cajuns beating Louisiana Tech and Russ because I think Lunch is going to make improvement this year because he has a whole year of playing experience. As long as he stays healthy, I think this whole thing is okay here. And I think we lost Bear Hunt Jalen.
Oh, Bear's gone right now.
Yeah, he dropped off.
Oh man.
Um,
Oh, I see. Yeah, but
yeah, I
hey,
don't.
I mean, hopefully he'll be able to come back and join us.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what's going on there. So, he'll probably be muted when he pops back up. But anyway, so we go from at Louisiana Tech to versus Troy here. And okay, I think that's him right there. Let's see. Make
There
sure
he is.
I see.
yeah, somebody called me and it kicked me out.
Somebody called him on the phone. So I
Every time
picked
it does, it
Louisiana
kicks
Tech
me
to lose
out.
the Cajuns. Bear. Sorry. So
That's
we got
fine.
versus Troy at home.
I mean, we all have
What you think, Bear?
my opinion's the only one that matters. Troy at home, that's another one too.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, they're predicting them. Well, in order for them, they have to beat Troy to win the West anyway, which I said a couple weeks ago they were gonna have to win the West. So, they're gonna beat Troy. I think
Okay.
Troy's finally gonna start seeing that downhill since the Summerall's recruits are gonna start funneling out of that program. I think this is the year that Troy starts, sliding down.
What you think, Jalen?
Man, I think it's gonna be a tough one. Bear, what did you say?
You got
I think the Cajuns are gonna win.
Man, I just want to make sure. Want to make sure. I think for most people it could be an upset. I think the Cajuns are gonna win this one too.
well, I would consider an upset. I mean, Troy's picked to win the
No,
West.
yeah, no, that's true, and that's what I'm saying. But
I mean,
but
it's
hey,
it's
I mean,
this one's a
y-
coin flip. It really is because I think it's like
No, you don't get no coin flip. You gotta pick one.
I think this is a coin flip game. Honestly, I do
and
think the
I
Cajuns do.
understand.
I think the Cajuns do benefit
I
from playing
get
at
it.
home. I think they're gonna win this game though. I think because they're playing at home. I think that's the reason why they're gonna win here. And I think
If Troy is as good as the preseason polls say, and the Cajuns beat them, I don't know who else the Cajuns could lose to at that point.
College football playoffs, baby.
yeah, here we go. So Cajuns are gonna go on the road after the home game against Troy at Southern Miss, and Southern Miss has an interesting take. You're gonna have to wait on that one, but what you think, Bear?
Yeah, I mean, Southern Miss is kind of still in rebuilding mode a little bit, so I think the Cajuns should be able to win that one. Might be close, but they're gonna win it.
What you think, Jalen?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I really can't recall the last time I picked Southern Miss to beat the Cajuns. It's nothing against Southern Miss, but the last time I actually kind of took them seriously against the Cajuns was when Frank Gore's son was at running back a couple of years ago. He's not there anymore, so the Cajuns are going to win this one.
You want so this game here scares the daylights out of me.
You think it's one of them trap games?
I think it's a trap game huge because so Southern Miss has more than 70 new players on this football team.
Oh,
70.
wow.
70. Yes. So this is what Blake Anderson, who was the head coach of Arkansas State when Arkansas State was having that run through the Sun Belt here, he said how far ahead of ground zero his roster was. He said under. We were under ground zero, so I had to bring in 70 new guys. No team in America returns less production. So this is a wild card team. You have no idea what's going on with this team, okay? Um, Cajuns are a 70% road favorite in this one. I don't like it. I do not like it because the Cajuns, I think they might overlook Southern Miss. You look at this game here, and it's like, man, like, because you have that bye week right after that. You're probably like, man, like, and you had to go through a gauntlet of Arkansas State, Louisiana Tech, and Troy. I think it catches up with them in Hattiesburg. I think the Cajuns dropped one they're not supposed to in Hattiesburg. They're going to drop one of these games that they're not supposed to, and I think it might happen October 24th. I hate that.
Womp womp womp.
Man, that's crazy.
Like,
Dum dum.
wait, what, Bear?
Dum dum dum.
Don't. I think they're gonna lose one of these that they're not supposed to. And I think it might be that one. Either that or the UOM one. I mean, I'm kind of jumping the gun, but UOM on a Thursday is kind of a special rivalry game. How UOM tries to play rivalry games. Yeah, I had an overtime win against them last year. So
And they were terrible last year.
yeah. So bye week October 31st. Everybody gets to go to Halloween. Yay.
It's Halloween.
November 7th. Home game against South Alabama. Bear, who you got?
Man, I think this is another one of those games that they're not supposed to lose, and they're gonna lose. I feel an upset in this one. I think South Alabama can pull it off.
You think they're gonna pull it off? Okay. All right.
Just because of
Jalen.
just because of the way that they played each other over the years. They always it's always a toss up every year.
South Alabama's got a feisty little bunch, man.
Yeah.
What you think, Jalen?
Man, South Alabama does have a feisty bunch. They do, and they kind of been up and down the last couple of years. I'm a I'm gonna go with the Cajuns with this one, but I think it's gonna be close.
So South Alabama did pull that upset against Cajuns in 2024. I walked in that game thinking that we're gonna smash Alabama. No chance. They ain't got a chance. Walked out of there, whole different story. I was. It was like if Kansas tried them out, the second half comeback, and I was like, it was like that was one of those that they was supposed to lose and they lost. So South Alabama went 4-8 last season. They went 3-5 in conference play. Coach Major Albert White has prioritized ball security and takeaways. That's been his big thing. You got to take care of the ball and be able to take it away.
Wait, how did
Bishop
Major
Davenport.
Applewhite? How
Yep.
did Major Applewhite get a head coaching job? The dude wasn't even that good of an offensive coordinator.
He hired Todd Orlando, who worked with Applewhite at Houston. He said Todd as tremendous character, and Applewhite said of Todd,
He wasn't even that good of an offensive coordinator. How did
he's
he get a head
he's a
coaching
great
job?
communicator of information. The Jags are trying to rebuild their identity. The Cajuns are favored at home at 68% to win this game. I think they're going to beat South Alabama this year. Um, yeah, like if you're trying towards like if your priority is ball security and takeaways, you're not really too secure in your team. I can see through the coach talk. Um, like you're not like okay, we don't have the talent, so we gotta yeah, it doesn't make sense. So that's kind of how I read it. So I think they're gonna beat
Yeah,
South
basically
Alabama.
saying we suck and we're just going out there and just playing loose.
We suck. At UOM's the next game on this list here. The schedule here. Bear, what you got?
I mean, it's a rivalry game, but I mean, uh, surely, I mean, my gut's telling me no, but I'm gonna say UL's gonna win it. I don't know, it's just the way that these games go down the last few years between them two. But I only call them to have two losses this year and win the West, so I can't have them lose anymore.
What you think, Jalen?
Now this one is one that I'm like, man, it's kind of a head scratcher because ULM, you know how it used to be in the past. They've gotten better over the years, and I think this could be one of those games where the Cajuns supposed to win, and ULM just they sneak away with a win. I'm a man. Hope Cajuns fans are mad at me, but I think I'm gonna go ULM on this one.
Upset pick.
Yay!
Upset pick.
Upset pick.
You know what? I thought Jalen was gonna rock an 11-1 record. I'm not gonna lie with you. I thought he was gonna rock
Just,
it.
I just think that I mean, obviously we got to use the UFC, but I think that one of those games, and I feel like ULM is such a rivalry game, and it's going to be a tough atmosphere. That's just what I'm going with. But I hope
I
I'm
think
wrong.
When rivalry games don't matter on paper. You got
they
to look
really
at the
don't.
history. You got to look at the past. You got to look at the past
Yeah,
5 years of how the games have gone, and that tells you everything you need to know.
Well, the Cajuns have won the last five. The last they lost last loss they had against UOM was in 2022. It
Yeah,
was
but
close
it's
last
just the
year.
way that the game is played. It's scrappy.
It's always a fight basically here. UOM, I think the Cajuns win it. But the thing that concerns me with that game is a Thursday night in a rivalry game. So that's kind of like one that I'm kind of
Yeah,
watching there too, a little bit of side eye there. But um, you know, I think worst case scenario, like I think we're gonna talk about this when we get done with scheduling here. I, we're gonna go talk about floors and ceilings of this team here, but we'll quick schedule what we got first, then we'll go talk about that. But Coastal Carolina Bear, you got the Cajuns winning that one, or you got the Chanticleers?
yeah. The Cajuns should win that one. I mean, Coastal Carolina, they're 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 on a downhill. They need some help.
What
Hopefully,
you
their baseball team's on a downhill too.
what you think, Jalen?
I think the Cajuns are going to take against Coastal. I don't think Coastal's been a good of a team ever since Grayson McCall was there. You know how long that's been.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's been a while.
I think the Cajuns end up winning this one. I mean, Coastal they haven't really been springing up on the radar too much in the Sun Belt lately. So at Georgia State, Bear, what you think?
Yeah, they should take care of business against Georgia State.
What you think, Jalen?
Georgia State, honestly, I think that might be the easiest game for the Cajuns on the schedule, honestly, and they should definitely win that one.
Man, you talk like Lamar or Georgia State. Who you got in that one, Jalen?
I think Lamar might actually beat Georgia State.
Wow, that's bad.
Dang. I kind of love it
I'm
though,
not
man.
trying to hate, not trying to hate on Georgia State fans, but I mean, what have they done in football for the last years?
I think
Last
uh
10 years.
I think I'm gonna go with the Cajuns though too. But man, that's an interesting take, man. Might have to make a reel out of that one. Post that one on YouTube. You're gonna
Yeah,
have one.
you know, I'm just saying.
You're gonna have the Lamar fans go run up on Georgia State like, hey, you know what Jalen said? Yo, freaking suck.
Hey, I'm
Let's do it. Schedule the
just
game.
just talking football too. I'm not talking any other sports, just football. That's it. Just football.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, Georgia
definitely.
State's last in the East, but y'all notice the Cajuns avoided one team in this schedule. What team is that?
Georgia Southern.
Well, yes, but
I was thinking App State.
I was thinking
App State.
JMU.
No, JMU.
Yep. JMU is missing in this schedule here for the Cajuns. So I mean, I think that really helps them out a lot. You know, I so
Man,
fair.
we don't get a
Where's
Billy Bowl. Man,
we might get a
we
Billy
want
Bowl
a
for a
Billy
Sun
Bowl.
we might get a Billy Bowl for a Sun Belt championship.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be a crazy. That
Playing
would be
in
crazy.
Lafayette too. In Lafayette,
Yep.
That would
please, please.
man like that would be wild to think about.
I mean,
Man,
Dad for the Sun Belt championship game. Oh, what man?
you can't write a better story than
I
that.
will, baby.
No, you can't. You can't write a better story than that.
So what's the floor bear? If like we're ten and Cajuns are, they are what they are. We all had them going 10-2. We all copied each other.
Yeah, 10 and
What's
2.
your floor?
That's my floor. 10
What
and
ten
2.
and two?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Jalen, like worst case scenario, like what do you think's the bottom of the floor, Jalen?
The the worst I can see the Cajuns record wise, I would say 8-4. The best case scenario, 11-1.
I
Yeah,
think.
I was thinking more of like a 9 and 3 or something like that.
Well, obviously, I think the best case scenario for the Cajuns. I'm gonna start off good before I get to the back here. I think it's undefeated.
Even against UFC.
I think the USC game could very well be determined by turnovers. If Lunch makes the improvement that I think he's gonna make, I think they could go 12-0 this year. And usually I'm like 8-4, 7-5. I mean that's how it was last year. And
Mm-hmm.
because last year I was hyping up the Cajuns, I'm going like they're gonna have a 10-win season. Um, and I remember me and you, Jalen. I think Jalen, you picked what 10 wins last year, was it?
Yeah, I did. I did.
And I went 8-4. And I was getting some hate mail on social media for the 8-4 prediction, and I was closer than anybody else.
Yeah, honestly, you were. You really were.
Um, but like they have some pieces that they have to put together. So the floor of this team, I believe this schedule really helps them out a lot. I think that's the key component I'm looking at this here. They could very well lose Louisiana Tech. They could lose to Troy. I think Southern Miss is the one that they might just overlook someone and lose. So I got that game in there. That's 3 losses right there. And you got the USC one, of course. That's 4. I think the Cajuns, the floor is 7-5. I think, but I think if they do finish 7-5 with this record, there needs to be a conversation being had with about this because there's no reason why they should finish 7-5 with this schedule right here. You can't get much easier than this. They're in the top 30 of easiest schedules in the country. I can understand if this is like a brutal, like, you had a top 15 schedule in the country, you managed to make it 7-5. You know what? Kudos to you for being a Sun Belt team and finishing 7-5 because you had to go through a gauntlet there. But I mean, you have a top 30 easiest schedule. There's no reason why you should finish 7-5 with this schedule. I think 10-2 is where you should be at. I think a double digit win season where the expectation should be at for this team this year. So, anything else y'all want to say before we get off here, boys?
Um, We want a Billy Bowl.
We
We
want
want
a
a Billy
Billy Bowl.
Bowl.
I mean, honestly, I do too, Bear. I agree 100%. I would love to see that. I'm not trying to get
Man,
too far ahead. I'm not trying to get too far ahead, Chief, but I'm saying if we had a prediction, it would be awesome to see a JMU Raging Cajuns Sun Belt Championship game in Lafayette.
I would love to see a JMU versus UL Sunbelt Championship game in Lafayette. That's the first time playing Billy Napier coming back to Lafayette for a Sunbelt Championship game. That is some that is some movie quality film right there, baby.
The story just wrote itself. I mean,
No, I mean like that is
Yeah,
beautiful. Like that would be
directed by
something
Chief.
crazy to happen there. So, and thank y'all for tuning in here to this 2026 Louisiana Raging Cajun football season preview here for the Fishbowl Sports here. Hope you have a great, wonderful day. We're gonna check in y'all next week here as we're gonna break down the LSU Tigers and Baton Rouge, how we think they're gonna finish up 2026 season, and then we get to have our weekly football previews where we get to predict all the teams and top 25 and Sun Belt divide up into two different episodes that we do every single week. So that being said, though, um, yeah, go follow us on our social media pages: Facebook, X, um, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff here, where you'll find all of our latest updates here. So hope you have a great, wonderful day, and we'll see you here next time here on Fishbowl Sports.
Good night.